The Beltane fire sends its flames to the sun, the promise of summer warmth to come. The horned god dances through the green, chasing after his goddess and queen. The earth mother laughs with joy that her young consort is no longer a boy. Their sacred marriage empowers the earth, and couples seek their blessings for future birth. Hawthorn blossoms in radiant white, and clarity grows in the quickening light. Now is the time for action in life, to fertilize, plant, and banish strife. Take the leap across the Beltane fire, and let the energies take you higher. Beltane is a halfway point between the spring equinox and summer solstice. It is known as May Day and is a time to celebrate life, growth, fertility, community, and the element of fire. Traditionally, it was celebrated on May 1st by the gathering around a bonfire and dancing around a maypole. All of life is bursting with potent fertility, and at this point in the wheel of the year, the potential becomes conception. On May Eve, the sexuality of life and the earth is at its peak. Abundant fertility on all levels is the central theme. Herbs and flowers that are celebrated and used during this time are oak, birch, dandelion, crocus, tulips, violets, and lilac. So to celebrate Beltane, I made some Beltane cakes, and I used cinnamon, nutmeg, white wine, honey, sea salt, sugar, flour, eggs, and some oil. So the first step is putting your eggs and your wine together. The recipe will be down below if you want exact measurements, but I actually ended up doubling my recipe so that I had enough to leave for my deities and then my fairy altar, and then also let my family enjoy some. So after adding your eggs and your wine together, you want to whisk them until they are thoroughly combined. And then set it aside. And combine your flour, cinnamon, sugar, and salt together. I accidentally added my nutmeg in with my flour where you're supposed to put it just in the honey, but it turned out pretty well. I used my beautiful little spoon that I got in my witch's box for April. I have been using it for nearly every spell that I've been doing. I'm thinking I'll have to get a few more. So stir everything together until it's nice and thoroughly combined. Then you're going to add your dry to your wet and mix it until it's a nice loose batter with no lumps. Similar to pancake batter consistency. Then you're going to set it aside for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you can start to heat up your oil. You want it to be hot but not smoking. I ended up using olive oil because this is all I have, and I like to use it more than canola oil. Then you're going to drip in your batter and let it fry until it's a light golden brown. This smell was very reminiscent of funnel cakes, and I think next time I do this recipe I'm actually going to drip it in and drizzle it similar to like a funnel cake would be made. This recipe is actually really easy and fast. foods that you can enjoy during Beltane are spring greens, strawberries, cakes, cherries, dairy, honey, bread, and red and pink wine, or anything that is in season right now. So for the dipping sauce, you're going to add in your honey and then your nutmeg. I would also recommend a really yummy honey butter recipe where you would just add a little bit of honey into some butter, cinnamon, and nutmeg, and then whip it together, which is delicious. I really like to take my time when crafting magical foods because I like to really put my intention into each of my ingredients and think about what I want to come from my spell and the eating of the food that I am making, and just appreciating the creation of something delicious and beautiful. I've actually been diving into this a lot with the book The Magic of Food by Gwion Raven, and I actually received this book in my last month's Witches box and had a deep dive gathering where we got to meet the author, and it was a fun and rather hilarious experience. This is my fairy altar at the minute. It's not in the best shape, but it's been enjoying the sun and I really need to give it more love. But at the moment, since we're moving so much, it's been hard to keep up with it. But I am leaving an offering of milk, honey, and my cakes that I just made. When leaving offerings for the Fae, it's really important that you don't leave anything that could be potentially dangerous or toxic to the animals and wildlife in the area. Whenever I leave offerings, I really like to ring the bell to kind of just open up the invitation for the Fae or the fairies to come and enjoy the offering that I left. So the next thing I did to enjoy this beautiful Beltane was to draw a Brittle Bath, and one of the traditions to do on Beltane is to enjoy a bonfire at sunset. But with everything going on, since we couldn't have friends and family join us, I decided to have a symbolic bonfire and light 5 candles around my bath. This is both a symbol of protection as they are at the 5 points of a pentacle, and also to symbolize just the fire energy and the warmth and heat that is coming on during this time. The botanicals I added to this bath are lemon, chrysanthemum, rose, and some gold foil to really embrace that sun power and energy. It turned out really beautiful. I also added some of my Beltane ritual salts from my Sugar Muses box this month. They smell delightful. And the incense was the green fairy incense from the Sugar Muses box as well. I also decided to bless and empower my Abundance Goddess pendant as well as my Abundance spell bag during this time. Really take advantage of the power that surrounds Beltane. Beltane is also a great time for abundance spells and power spells, anything that you want to be really empowered and brought on and increased in your life. especially if you're using it with the waxing moon, which we have right now. So then I took my rosemary smudge bundle and I cleansed and blessed my space. What does this chrysanthemum remind you of? I really enjoyed taking this time to myself. I actually took this bath during nap time when my little ones were asleep, so it was a nice self-love ritual for myself as well. The next part of my Beltane celebration was to do a ritual or a spell and a plant blessing. So here you see me adding chrysanthemums and cloves to my circle that I have built, and I used the runes that symbolize gifts and abundance, protection, and different things that I wanted to incorporate into my spell. This is a beautiful way to use runes, and a little bit different than the traditional use of throwing runes for divination, but you can also harness their power and energy by working with them during spells and rituals. So I like to take this time and really take my time to set my intentions for each of the ingredients that I'm using. Here you see me casting a circle with the ginger salts from the previous witch's box to cast as a protective circle around my space. You can really decorate your altar with things that you find on nature walks and different things that are in your yard, blooming flowers, greenery. I always like to ask permission and give thanks and maybe even leave an offering if I do take anything that is living. I really loved how this circle turned out. Right now I'm opening up my circle to my deities, who are Cernunnos and Gaia, are the two deities that I worked with at this time, and I asked for their blessing and I invited them into my circle so that I can work with their energies. Crystals that you can use include bloodstone, carnelian, jasper, emerald, rose quartz, and sapphire. I also left them an offering of the cakes that I had created with honey. Deities to be celebrated and honored during Beltane are Bel, the Oak King, Green Man, Pan, Cernunnos, Flora, Gaia, Artemis, the May King and Queen, and Diana or Hecate. So now I'm using the Beltane tea that I received in my Sugar Muses box as well inside my circle, and really asking for the different botanicals that were used in this tea to provide me with the abundance and fertility and just blessings that it all brings. It was a very, very enjoyable cup to drink. It smelled so good. So I used 2 candles in this spell, and they were a white and black candle symbolizing the god and the goddess. And here I'm showing you how you can unroll beeswax candles to put different herbies inside to empower your intentions. use roses and lemon peel in my goddess candle. And then I use galangal root and yarrow in my god candle to Kernunos. Now I am blessing my circle with the Beltane ritual salts from my Sugar Muses box. When working with beeswax candles, I like to drip a little bit of wax on my surface and then use that wet wax to keep my candle in place so it doesn't fall over. Now I am breaking up a charcoal disc. It's best to do this with tongs because it can get hot very fast. And I'm adding my Beltane incense that came in my Sugar Muses box. Now on a piece of paper, I am writing my intentions and the different things that I hope to get out of this spell. This can be anything you want, but for Beltane, I would suggest using this time to really try to bring things into your life, whether that's fertility, abundance, passion, creativity, love, anything you can think of, and this is just a suggestion. You can really do anything you want. After you're done writing your intentions on your paper, fold it towards you 3 times. Now I'm taking my Artemis ritual oil and my plant guide oil from the Sugar Muses and Witches Roots boxes this month, and I am anointing my goddess candle that I had forgotten to do, but better late than never. Now I'm taking the oils and really just rubbing them all over this piece of paper to give the paper that extra oomph and the properties that are in these oils. Now, while holding your paper in your hand, you can say a blessing or a prayer. Mine went a little something like this. Blessed be this day of Beltane, wedding day of the goddess and the god, holy day of sacred marriage, holy might of sacred union, The fertile goddess of summer walks through the land with the great horn god of the forest, and the dark time of winter is behind me. Bless this life with your power, and let it bring love, passion, and creativity as it grows its flower. Now I took the Artemis oil and I drew a symbol or a sigil on my planter, my little plant pot, and I ended up doing a heart with a pentacle in the center because the two things that I'm really trying to bring are passion and love and creativity into my life. And place your little piece of paper inside. Now I'm taking some of the green calcite that I received in my Sugar Muses box and placing it inside with my little piece of paper, and also some red clover for the properties that they bring. I'm also placing some oak leaves in there as an honoring and blessing to the Oak King in Cernunnos. Now you can begin adding your soil. I used a dahlia tuber for this spell, but you can really use anything, even if it's just a seed that you want to plant. I thought a dahlia tuber would be appropriate because it's going to be the showcase of my flower garden this year, and starting from a tuber, I thought it was very symbolic of Cernunnos and Gaia, how they sleep during the winter and are abundant during the warmer months. To finish off, I did a Beltane tarot spread. You can find it down below, but they are laid out in a series of 5 different cards, with the first card symbolizing safety, the second, abundance, the third, regeneration, the fourth, love. I hope you all enjoyed celebrating Beltane with me. Also, as a treat for Beltane, I added a special little pendant into this month's giveaway, so please go over and check that out. I don't want you to miss out on it because it's extra special this month. You can find the post on my Instagram at the Frolicking Fern, or you can also check out my previous video on my side-by-side and giveaway. I would also like to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this and if you aren't already. And to my current subscribers, I wanted to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all the love and appreciation you have been showing me, especially recently. It's been so uplifting in my life. Blessed be. Bye.